been injustices in the past, but we've hopefully gotten over that. Let's just start working together. And let's throw out the carpetbaggers and the people who would want to tyrannize us. And I'll tell you, a good starting place is, for God's sakes, never let them take your weapons. It's the only thing that's kept us as free as we are. And the Founding Fathers knew this. Just go read the Federalist Papers. When they said the right of the public to bear arms had nothing to do with hunting or sportsmanship or target shooting, they were very explicit. They said this is what a free man must have the right to overthrow a tyrannical government. And ours, I hate to say it, is getting tyrannical. When they tell you you can't grow a garden, when they tell you you have to take a shot and a vaccination, which is proven to be dangerous at best, when they tell you you have to do this and you have to do that, that's tyranny. Okay? I don't care if it's a church or a political party or a government spokesman. When somebody tells you you can do this or you must do this and you cannot do that, that's tyranny. And we've got to resist it. And you guys are right here. A lot of you are younger folks. You're going to have to take up the banner. You're going to have to keep going, man. I'm getting old and worn out. All I'm trying to do is tell you what's going on, and then you guys have to figure out what to do about it. And let me tell you, but let me add one thing. Try to avoid violence, okay? Don't throw rocks. Don't throw Molotov cocktails. That's what they want. That's what they're looking for. If they can goad you into violence, or better yet, their usual trick is to run in agents provocateur who are going to say, hey, let's break that window, you know. If you're out at some demonstration, somebody starts to do something unlawful or violent, grab them, turn them over to a cop, haul them off, get them the heck out of there, because this is exactly what they want so they can instill martial law. And then come take you. Huh?
They probably are a cop.
Yeah. Most of the time they are. You ever see those pictures where the demonstrator that they arrested out of Canada,
Oh, yeah.
and he's wearing the same combat boots as the
You shall
cop.
know them by their combat boots.
Exactly. Back here.
How do you suggest when they do come for our guns to defend ourselves?
Well, number one, don't let it get to the point of them coming for your guns.
Right.
When you see legislation coming up like this Hope bill, get a hold of your representatives and tell them in no uncertain terms, firmly but politely, if you vote for this bill, I will work 24/7. I will do everything I can do to see you're defeated and put out of office. And if enough people would call them and tell them that, they are just chicken enough, and they are so jealous of guarding their positions, they will back down. So hopefully it won't get to that. All right, but then if they just keep going and they're coming for your guns, then band together and fight them off. Alexander Solzhenitsyn, okay, writing about the Gulag in Russia, made the comment, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said we'd sit around in the Gulag and we'd bemoan the fact that if at a certain point when they came for people in the middle of the night and crashed down, knocked down the door, and were taking people, if we'd gathered up shovels and axe handles and tie rods or whatever and gone out there and killed them in the hallway, they would have hesitated to come around and take our neighbors, and we could have stopped it right there. He said, but we didn't. We always said, well, I'm not violating any law. I'm okay. And gee, they took my neighbor, but hey, maybe they won't come for me. And of course, when they come for you, there's nobody left to stand up. Now, I don't want it to get to that. That's why I'm trying to get you people to get off your tails right now and do something about it before it gets to that. But if it gets to that, you got to stop them in the hallways. Don't wait until they take you to camp, because then your chances of stopping it are zip to none.
There's a lot of excitement and energy around all this sovereignty movement stuff going on in these states. And our Governor, Pontius Perry, even has...
I'm going to steal that.
He didn't want to get that one in.
I'm going to steal that.
Well, even he supposedly has been coming on board with the excitement and the energy of this sovereignty movement. And what you're saying right here is my fear is that it's going to get flipped on us.
Right. That's a good fear.
It's all bullshit.
They're going to get fear. Remember when they beat you up and arrest you for wearing a peace sign? And now little kids run around with peace signs. They co-opted it, okay? And they're going to do the same thing with this with the sovereignty thing, you know. Well, to protect your sovereignty, vote for this anti-gun bill, you know.
Organic.
Or we're all going to, yeah, green, this environmental thing. My God, most of you people probably been in on the green movement since it was, before it was the green movement. But you know how they're turning that around. Now it's, you got to do this, you got to do that, you can't do this, you can't do that, and it's all to protect the environment. Okay?
No, it's all
It used to be to protect the kids. They always got some excuse.
Aren't the states sovereign already?
The states are sovereign, but we got to regain it.
Wouldn't this be like an opportunity for them to turn it against us, that, like he's saying right there, just by putting it up for vote, it's out, and they vote it down like they did in New Hampshire, then that flip it right there.
Yeah, you've got to be on top of this. Look at California. The majority of voters voted to legalize medical marijuana. And within a month, the feds were busting the marijuana outlets because they said, well, that was for state law. This is federal law. Well, excuse me, where does it all start? It starts here. Let me tell you what you need to do. You need to do like a county sheriff did up in, I think, Idaho. He sent a public notice out and said any officer of the federal government that violates the Constitution of the United States, his deputies were going to be out and escort them to the county line because they were no longer welcome in that county. This is the kind of standing tall that we've got to start exercising.
One last thing on Zechariah Sitchin, for instance, you know, in the Sumerian tablets. Do you have any caution about Zechariah in that he's really elaborate on his storyline?
Okay, he's asked me about Zechariah Sitchin. I'm sure a lot of you have read Sitchin. I've met Sitchin. At one point, he literally ran away from me because he did not want to answer my question. My question was kind of naive because this was years ago, and I thought it was a legitimate question. I was just going to say to Zechariah Sitchin, well, you know, did they all leave or did they all stay? And if they stayed, where are they? He doesn't want to answer that. I'm only going to say this. Read Sitchin, take it as input, but don't take that as the final word. Y'all may know my friend Linda Moulton Howe.
Yes, sir.
She tells me that at one point she sat across from Sitchin, looked him right in the eye, and said, "Have you ever worked for the CIA?" And he would not answer her. Okay? So I would be, hey, don't trust anybody. Don't even trust me. I'm telling you what I know. I'm showing you what I know. I'm talking real openly with you. But don't trust me. Go out and do your own legwork. And basically, no, don't take everything. I know people who are Sumerian language scholars and cuneiform, can read cuneiform, and they don't always agree with Sitchin's interpretations or translations. Nothing too serious, but there are some problems there. So you got to be careful because everybody, except me, has an agenda.
What do you think personally of Jesus in the context of all this?
Oh, great.
And then
The question is, what do I personally think about Jesus in the context of all of this? Well, number one, I don't see that's apples and oranges. If Jesus lived and if Jesus did his ministry, and if he was the forerunner of what has come to be known as the Christ consciousness, which is love your neighbor, and then so what? What's it got to do where he came from or whatever? I don't see where it's any big thing. I will say this. If Jesus, as we have been taught about him and from everything we know about him, was to actually return to the earth today, he'd be in Guantanamo. Yes, sir.
I guess this goes a couple slides back.
Hang on your name.
Oh, me?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. This goes a few slides before that. I was wondering where they had sent out that message, or a message was putting not a crop circle, but a crop square.
Yeah, binary code disk.
Yeah, the one that was encoded by
that one.
Yeah, that one and the one before. Are those considered one before that? One before that? That right there. Were all those considered to be legitimate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have checked and checked and checked, and I've not found anybody who can disprove that these were not legitimate crop circles, although, as you can see, they're not a circle.
That's all.
Yeah, the crop was laid down. It fits criteria of a legitimate crop
They
circle.
didn't find, but I'm not as expert in that.
Well,
They
as
didn't
I said,
find-
on a legitimate crop circle, the crop is laid down. It's still living.
Okay.
It's not crushed. The stems are not broken.